Welcome viewers, welcome to the session. I'm sorry for the interrupts that we had. Now I think everything is okay. You are free to now follow. You are free to follow up the session now. You are free to follow up the session. Let's go direct to question number 1 of this paper. Let's go direct to question number 1 of this paper. We are being told that Sarah recorded the following numbers in a field. Sarah recorded the following numbers in a field book. 1/2. Just a moment, I'm seeing I had a wrong display. Learners, apologies. I think now that is sorted. Now, for you to know which numbers are integers, learners, we need to know integers. An integer must be a whole number. When you get something we call integer, rule number 1, it must be a whole number. It must be a whole number. That is rule number 1. It can be negative or positive or 0. This is what constitutes an integer. When you look at question part A of your choices, 5.5 cannot be an integer because it's a mixed fraction. Question B, choice B should not be an integer because it's a decimal. Choice C is also not an integer because it's a fraction. Choice D is a negative whole number, then that one, it becomes the integer. So for question 1, the correct answer should be C. Should be D. We are going to question number 2. Three buckets have capacities of 16 liters, 12 liters, and 13 liters. Using a container. What is the capacity of the largest container that was used to fill each of the buckets? What is the capacity of the largest container used to fill each of these buckets? Dear learners, for you to get to know the capacity of the largest container used to fill each of them, we are simply going to get the G16, 12, and 20. So let's get the GCD. We have the GCD of 16, 12, and 20. Let's get the GCD. When you're getting the GCD, I'm sure you remember that you need to get a number that goes into all the three numbers. So the smallest number is a 2. 2 into 16 is 8. 2 into 12 is 6. 2 into 10 is 10. Another smallest number is 2. 2 into 8 is 4. 2 into 6 is 3 times. And 2 into 10 is 5. We don't have any other number. So our GCD in this case is not going to be 2 times 2, which becomes 4. Then we are going to look for a choice that has 4 as the answer. So our answer is choice A. Our correct answer is choice A. Let's look at question number 3. A farmer harvested 2,486,712 pieces of pineapples. What is the number rounded off to the nearest thousands? So to the nearest hundreds of thousands. So let's have the number. we have the number as 2,486,712. They say rounded off to the nearest hundreds of thousands, dear learners. So this one here is ones. This one here is going to be tens. This one here is hundreds. This one here is going to be thousands. This one here is going to be tens of thousands. This one here should be hundreds of thousands, dear learners. Now, because they want to the nearest hundreds of thousands, this number, I'm going to look at a number on its right-hand side. The number on its right-hand side is going to be, in this case, is 8. I'm going to look at the number on its right-hand side. And the rule, learners, is for a number that is on the right-hand side, if the number is 5 or more than 5, it's going to increase this number by 1. But if it's less than 5, it will not increase by 1. As it makes the changes, these other numbers will become 0, 0, 0, 0. And because this number, which is 8, is greater than 5, is going also to become 0 and increase this one by 1, making it to be 1 plus 4 is 5. Then this is 2. That becomes 2,500,000, which gives us choice B. Which gives us choice B, learners, as the correct option. Our correct option is choice B, which is 2,500,000. 2,500,000. Make sure to drop your comment as we proceed. Question number 4. The price of a liter of petrol at a petrol station was 199 shillings and 8 cents. David wrote the price to two significant figures. Which of the following is the price to two significant figures? I remember that the price was 199.08. Because we want our answer to be to two significant figures, dear learners, what will be our value? We are going to count from the left two significant figures. I'm going to have 1, 2. Then this one here, you realize, because the here hapa, this one, because it's more than 5, is going to increase this one here by 1. Once it increases this one by 1, this number is going to become 20. Now, learners, your answer will not be 20. Remember that this number was 199.08 shillings. When you write it to two significant figures, we have to retain the 0 here as a placeholder of the number. Remember that zeros at the end may or may not be significant. Zeros at the end may or may not be significant. That makes our correct answer here to be choice C. Choice C as the correct answer, dear learners. Question 5, sorry. Peter worked out a question on indices and got the answer as p squared. Which of the following is equivalent to p squared? Dear learners, we have rules of indices. We have indices, and we have the multiplication law. When you have p power 4, when you have p power 4, you multiply this by p squared, the multiplication law. Then we are going to add the powers 4 plus 2 to make it 6, which is not what we were given. Then we have the division law. The division law, dear learners, simply says when we have p power 4 divided by p power 2. This one, when you combine, because it's division, you are going to subtract the powers. When I subtract 4 minus 2, I'm going to get p squared, which I think is being given there. Then we have this one. When you have when we have p power 4 into 2, the powers will get multiplied. 4 times 2, this will make it 8. This is like p power 8. So the correct answer here is choice B. That is on the division law. You subtract the powers. When you subtract 4 minus 2, you are going to get 2. You are going to get 2. You are going to get 2. Let's go straight to question number 6. The equation of a line was given. The equation of a line was given as 4x. We have 4x minus 3y minus 7 equals to 0. Then they want, we get the gradient of the line. We get the gradient of the line, dear learners. For you to be able to get the gradient of a line, you need to write that equation in form of y is equals to mx plus c. You need to write is equals to mx plus c first. So because we need to write the equation, because we need to write that equation in this being equals to mx plus c, where this m is my gradient always. So let's rewrite this equation. Rewriting this equation in form of y is equals to mx plus c, I'm going to have it like this. I'm going to have negative 3y is going to have, then these other things I'm going to move to the other side. So this is going like to be minus 4x plus 7. Because this one is positive, on coming here it will become minus. This one here is negative, on crossing here it will become positive. It will become positive. So once I have it like that, I only need to remain with y on this side. To remain with y, I'm going to divide each term by negative 3, by negative 3, by negative 3. This one and this one cancels. I'm going to have y is equals to negative and negative cancel, so that will be 4 over 3x plus negative 7 over 3. Remember, learners, the coefficient of x is your gradient. The coefficient of x is your gradient. So in this case, this will be your gradient. This one here is now going to be your gradient, dear learners, the coefficient of x. So you come into the choices and look for that value 4 over 3 in your choices. Look for the value 4 over 3 in your choices. It is very, very important. We look for the value 4 over 3. That is choice C. Choice C is giving us 5 over 3. Choice C is giving us 5 over 3. We proceed to question number 7. We proceed to question number 7. Joel requires at least 20 minutes to walk from home to school. At least 20 minutes. Let X represent the time taken by Joel to walk from home to school. Which of the following inequalities represents the time taken by Joel? Which of the following inequalities represents the time taken by Joel? Now, learners, this is what is important for us here. We should be understanding what the word at least means. At least, you know, when someone says you require at least 50 shillings to be able to eat lunch, what does it mean? It means if you have anything less than 50 shillings, you will not be able to eat your lunch. But if you have anything at least 50, anything like 50, 60, 70, and going forward, then you'll be able to eat your lunch. So learners, the term at least means greater than or equal to. That's what a smart learner should know. So when we hear that Joel requires at least 20 minutes, then Joel can use 20 minutes, 24 minutes, maybe even 30 minutes, we don't know. But when we say Joel requires at least 30 minutes, so 20 minutes to walk, and X represents the time taken, then that X that represents the time taken should be greater than or equal to 20. The term at least means that we also have the term at most. So maybe before that, the correct answer now should be greater than X being greater than or equal to 20, choice C. When you get, a smart learner, when you get the term at most, it should mean at most means less than or equal to. I need at most this amount of money. I need at most 10 minutes to finish my work, meaning it can be less or equal to that at most. The term like more than, the term like more than implies greater than. The term like less than represents that symbol. That's what you need to know under linear inequalities, dear learners. Under linear inequalities, dear learners. Let's look at question number 8. Otieno and Kasira bought pens, exercise books, and pencils at the beginning of the term. The number of pens, exercise books, and pencils bought by each was represented by the matrix below. What is the order of the matrix? Learners, when you talk about a matrix, what are we referring to? This is simply an arrangement. A matrix is just an arrangement in terms of rows and columns. An arrangement in terms of rows and columns, that is what a matrix implies. And when we talk about order of the matrix, learners, there's something we need to know. Order of the matrix, we normally say row times column. The order of the matrix is given by row times column. That is how we define a matrix, the order of a matrix. The number of rows times the number of columns. Rows are what run in the left right direction, and columns run in the north south direction. So learners, if this is the rule, if we come here and look at our rows, I'm having two rows. I'm having this one here as row 1. I'm also having this one here as row 2. So the number of rows I'm having is 2 times the number of columns. The number of columns in my case, I'm having this as column 1, column 2, column 3. The ones I've indicated using a red indicates column. So you realize that I'm having 3 columns here. So my row is defined as a 2 by 3 matrix. The order of my matrix is 2 by 3. We have 2 rows, making it 2 by columns, which are 3. So I go to my choices and look at it. I'll get choice A, a 2 by 3 matrix. That is the order of a matrix. Always state the row followed by column. State the row followed by a column. State a row followed by column. State a row followed by column, dear learners. Stating a row followed by column. Let's get to question number 9. Question number 9. Winnie placed a tube against a wall as shown. We have a tube, we have a wall. The top of the tube was 2.7 meters from the wall. This 2.7 meters, the top of the tube was 2.7 meters from the bottom of the wall. You can see this distance from here to here. This distance is 2.7. The foot of the tube was 3.6 meters from the wall. This horizontal distance here, learners, from the wall, 3.6. Which of the following calculations will give the length? Dear learners, this is a question applying the concept of the Pythagoras theorem. Pythagoras theorem, because we are having something like this in that case. When you work it out well, the height is 2.7. Remember that the wall makes an angle of 90 degrees with the ground. Then this base is 3.6. Then they want the length of the tube, which is our hypotenuse, which we call it C. Learners, there's something we learned that said C squared, which is hypotenuse squared, is given by A squared plus B squared. This means if I treat this side to be my A and this side to be my B, then it means A squared, which is now 3.6 squared, plus B squared, which is 2.7, should be 2.7, 2.7 squared. This gives me my C squared. Now, once I'm having C squared being equals to 3.6 squared plus 2.7 squared, if I want to get C, I'm going to square root both sides in order to get my C. Once I have to square root here, I also have to square root the right hand side of the equal sign. The right hand side of the equal sign. So you realize on this side, this square root cancels with the square. So I'm going to remain with the C being given as the root of 3.6 squared plus 2.7 squared. The root of 3.6 squared. And remember that this C I'm talking about, that gives me now the length of the tube. Length of the tube. The C gives you your length of the tube, dear learners. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. The C gives you the length of the tube. So you come into your choices and look for the correct term. Remember, the whole of these learners is being square rooted. The whole of this is under the square root. So you wrap it inside brackets like that. Let's see. Choice A, 3.6 squared plus 2.7 squared. Yes, then what you get is square root. That's correct. Choice B is not correct. Look at where the square root here is. For choice B, they first mean add 3.6. Just a moment. I've done something here. Choice B says first add 3.6 plus to 2.7, then square it, now then square root. That gives you something wrong. Choice C, we eliminated because of the subtraction sign. Choice D, we eliminated because the A and the B were not squared. So we are left with the correct answer as choice A. Choice A is our correct answer in that case. Let's go to question number 10. Question number 10, dear learners. And made a semicircular tablecloth. The diameter of the tablecloth was 42 centimeters. The diameter of the tablecloth was 42 centimeters. She binded the edge of the tablecloth with a ribbon. What was the length of the ribbon used? What was the length of the ribbon used? Remember, we are being told that Anne made a semicircular tablecloth. It is something like a semicircular, meaning it is a semicircle in shape. Let me have a sketch. This is our semicircle, dear learners. Hey, sorry, what am I drawing? Just a moment, let me clean that. Let's have this as our semicircle. That's our semicircle. Because now Anne made a semicircular tablecloth, meaning that if she made from here, then the tablecloth covers all the way from here to here. Then it has also to come back via this distance here. That's what you need to know to cover the whole of it. So this is we are going to get the length. So I'm going to get the curved surface. The curved surface, because it is a half of a circle, I'm going to talk of it as a half pi d for the curved surface. Then now plus d, because after covering this distance here, learners, after covering this distance, the curved part, it has also to cover this d, this distance here. That's why I'm adding the d. So I'm going to do substitution. This is now going to be a half times pi, which is 22 over 7, times diameter, which is 42. With the help of our calculator, when I take a half times 22 over 7 times 42, I'm going to get 66. Plus now 42, I'm going to get, when you add 42, I'm going to get 108. So learners, can you be very, very keen with these exams? You see, even 66 is also given as an option in choice, as a choice C option. So you need to understand what the question requires. And I've said in this case, this a half pi dh, the a half pi d is for the curved part. Then I'm adding now this d because I have to go back to where I came from to make it cover the whole of it. So that makes choice B the correct option. That makes choice B the correct option. If you have a problem, you just communicate from the site. Let's look at question number 11. Let's look at question number 11. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you keep getting updates on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you keep getting updates on the channel. Question number 11. A milk company sells yogurt in cylindrical cups. Each cup has a diameter of 7 centimeters and a height of 10 centimeters. The company sold 385 liters of yogurt. How many cups of yogurt were sold? How many cups of yogurt were sold? So let's go back to the question. We have a milk company that sells yogurt in cylindrical cups. Each cup has a diameter of 7 and a height of 10 centimeters. So that if you have this as your cup, this is my cylindrical cup, learners. This is our cylindrical cup. The diameter is 7, the height is 10. The diameter is 7, the height is 10. Because it's cylinder, it can give me the volume. Volume of a cylinder is being given, learners, by pi r squared h. Let's compute that volume first. With that calculation, you are going to get volume. The pi as 22 over 7 times the radius. If the diameter is 7, now the radius is half of the diameter, so 7 divided by 2, you are going to get the radius as 3.5 squared times the height, which is 10. So let's see what that volume is. With the help of our calculator, you press 22 over 7, you multiply by 3.5 squared, then you multiply by 10. That gives you 385 as the volume. The volume in this case we are having is 385 cubic centimeters because it's volume. So learners, that is the volume of 1 cup. Remember, when you talk about volume, this is the amount of space being occupied by an object. That is the volume. So we see the company sold. Remember that this company sells yogurt in cylindrical cups. In a certain year, the company sold 385 liters of yogurt. Shift between liters and cubic centimeters. You know that 1 liter is equals to 1,000 cubic centimeter. What about 385 liters that were sold? How many centimeters are those? When you do cross multiplication, you are going to get 385, multiply that by 1,000. So this gives you 385,000 cubic centimeter. 385,000 cubic centimeter. So this is the total. This is the total volume of milk that was sold. Each cup was holding milk worth of size 385 cubic centimeter. So to get the number of cups, you ask yourself, 1 cup had a capacity of 385 cubic centimeter. What about these 385,000 cubic centimeters? When you cross multiply, you are going to get 1. You multiply that by 385,000. Then you divide that by 385. That one, with the help of your calculator, you are going to get 1,000. It means that 1,000 cups were sold during that period. 1,000 cups were sold. So in your choices, you are seeing the correct answer is C. The correct answer, learners, is C. The correct answer is C. Let's look at question number 12. Nyaboke walked from her home to the market. She walked at a speed of 4 kilometers per hour and took 30 minutes to reach the market. On her way back, she took 40 minutes to reach home. What was Nyaboke's speed on her way back? Learners, first of all, let's have this diagram in our mind. Distance, speed, time. Distance, speed, time. Now, let's analyze this statement point by point. Nyaboke walked from her home to the market. She walked at a speed of these 4 kilometers per hour and took 30 minutes. So, if she walked at a speed of 4 kilometers per hour and took 30 minutes to the market, so let's get the distance. Let's get the distance. This is between home, market. Distance is given by speed times time. The speed in which this person walked was 4 kilometers per hour times time. Time is 30 minutes. We have to divide it by 60 so that we get the time in hours. Now you multiply 4 times 30 over 60, that gives you 2 hours. Sorry, not 2 hours, 2 kilometers. 2 kilometers, not hours. Apologies for that. This gives you 2 kilometers. So the distance from home to the market is given by speed that person used, that is 4 times time, that is 30 over 60, giving you 2 kilometers. After we've gotten the distance as 2 kilometers, they say when she came back home, she just used 40 minutes. What was her speed back home? For you to get speed, we take the distance over time. Sorry. You take the distance over time. Distance over time. So the distance, you know, if this is home and this is the market, if moving from home to market, someone covers a distance of 2 kilometers, it also means moving back from market to home, you must cover 2 kilometers. The distance remains the same. So the distance here is 2 over the time, which is 40 over 60. When you divide 2 divide by 40 over 60 with the help of our calculator, or rather maybe, yeah, this is now like saying 2 divided by 40 over 60, which is now 2 times 60 over 40. This gives you 2 times 60 over 40, dear learners. That gives me 3 kilometers per hour. So this person moved at a speed of 3 kilometers per hour. 3 kilometers per hour. Keep sharing the link, learners, to friends so that they may also enjoy this sample that was released by NEC to show us how exams tend to appear. Let's look at question number 13. And as we proceed, learners, make sure you subscribe to the channel and you hit the bell icon so that to keep receiving updates whenever they are posted. Mweni measured the temperature of a liquid as 48 degrees Celsius. Which of the following calculations gives the correct temperature in Kelvin? Which of the following calculations gives the correct temperature in Kelvin? Now, learners, to convert, when you convert degrees Celsius to Kelvin, what do we do here? You add 273. You add 273. And when you are converting Kelvin to degrees Celsius, you subtract 273. That's what you need to know. And now if we know that, we go back now to the question. Because they are saying when you measure the temperature as this 1 degree Celsius, they want the correct temperature now in Kelvin. You come here and ask yourself, degrees Celsius to Kelvin, what do? We add. So we take the 48 degrees, then we add the 273. 48 degrees plus 273, that is choice A. Choice A gives you the correct answer. Choice A gives you the correct answer. Don't forget that. Question number 14. Question number 14. A shop allowed a 10% discount on all items sold. Ahmed bought a shirt at 70 shillings from the shop. Which calculations gives the marked price? Which calculations give the marked price? So remember, when a shop allows a discount of 10%, the original percentage, which is our marked price, the marked price is always 100%. So if they give a 10% discount, it means that the selling price is 100% minus 10%, which is 90%. That is their selling price percentage. Now, because they say Ahmed bought a shirt at 270, meaning that he was sold the shirt at 720, whose percentage is 90%. So I can say if 90%, which is the percentage after discount, is equal to the buying price of the shirt, which is 720. What calculations gives you the marked price? What about the percentage for the marked price, which is always 100%? Then you cross multiply. This now will become 100 times 720 all over 90. 100 times 720 over 90. When you simplify this, you realize, when you simplify that, you'll realize the 0 and the 0 cancels. The 0 and the 0 cancels. Then the 0 and the 0 cancels. Then I'm having 10 divided by 9, that is 1.11, which someone can just talk of it as 1.1 times now 720 times 720. So let's see, what is it? So the correct answer should be 720 times 1.1, that one there. 720 times 1.1. Question number 15. The base of a liter bin is in the shape of a rectangular pentagon. As shown, determine the size of the angle marked X. This is a pentagon, learners. This is a pentagon. When you look at angle Y, that is an interior angle. What do you know about a pentagon? A pentagon has how many sides? A pentagon, learners, has 5 sides. So we know that a pentagon has 5 sides. Now, because we know that a pentagon has 5 sides, how do you get the sum of interior angles of a pentagon? Sum of interior angles of a polygon, you know that. You know that sum of interior angles is being given by, just apologies for that. Let me fix that. It was just a mistake and a misbehave in the system. Yes, like that. Sum of interior angles is being given by 2n minus 4 into 9, where n is the number of sides of the polygon. When you do replacement, this will become, remember n is the number of sides, and because this is a pentagon, it has 5 sides. This is 1, side 2, side 3, side 4, side 5. So this will become 2 times 5 minus 4 into 9. So 2 times 5, this is going to be 10, minus 4, that's going to be 10 minus 4, that is 6, times 90. This is now going to give you 6 times 90. This is going to give you 540 degrees. 540 degrees. That is the sum of interior angles of this pentagon, 540 degrees. Now, after we've obtained the sum of interior angles of a pentagon as 540, because it's a regular pentagon, it's a regular one, meaning that if this point is the center, let me use a pen with a different ink. If this is my center and I try to get my triangles, let me try getting my triangles. And I try getting my triangles, learners. This will be my triangles. This will be my triangles. Now, when you look at those triangles, how many triangles am I having? I'm having triangle 1, triangle A, that's 1, B2, C3, D4, E5. I'm having 5 triangles. I'm having 5 triangles. Now, because I'm having 5 triangles, if you look at my triangle well, if you look at your triangles well, there's something you need to learn. Remember, our main interest is to determine the size of angle Y. Determining the size of angle Y. And we've obtained the sum of interior angles as the sum of interior angles as 540. This when you look at it also keenly, I want learners will be in an agreement with what the question requires, because at times these questions need us to reason. The questions need us to reason, and I'm sure my learners are strong enough to reason out. If I want to see what you people think, if you think you've gotten the correct answer as you're following with me, you can drop your comment so that I can verify first and tell you if you've gotten it right, and tell you if you've gotten it right. It's not something difficult because I've already split the question into a much more simpler thing. Look at your angle Y where it's positioned. Look at your angle Y positioned. Look at your angle Y where it's positioned. When you want to determine the correct size of that angle, and based on the fact that I've subdivided the triangle into some portions, what do you think we need to do? What do you think we need to do in order to have it correct? I'm waiting for somebody's comment in the wall. Now, without maybe wasting time, wasting time, we know that since this is a regular polygon, all its interior angles are equal. Since it's a regular polygon, all these interior angles, this angle should be equal to this, should be equal to this, should be equal to this, should be, sorry, my machine tends to misbehave. Should be equal to this, should be equal to this. So what you need to know, all the interior angles are equal. In a regular polygon, all interior angles are equal. So because how many interior angles do I have? I have angle 1, this one. I have this as angle 2. Look at the one I'm making darker. I've got this as angle 3. I have this as angle 4, dear learners. Then this as angle 5, which is my y. Now, because they are equal and the sum of their angles amounted to 540, then I'm going to say 540 divided by 5. This is when I say 540, divided by 5, in my calculator, I'm going to get 108. 108 degrees. 108 degrees. So I come into my choices and look for 108. I can see choice C as 108. I can see choice C as 108. I can see choice C as 108. Let's look at question number 16. A pole is erected on a flat ground. A pole is erected on a flat ground. It forms an angle ABC. It forms an angle ABC as shown. Forms an angle ABC as shown. What is the size of angle ABC? What is the size of angle ABC? How do we get the size of that angle? The size of angle ABC, dear learners, we need to do measuring. We need to do measuring and allow I take you through. Let me get my protractor so that we can measure the angle. Let me get the protractor so that we can have the angle measured. So that we can get the angle measured. So that we can have the angle measured. Hope you know how to position your protractors. Hope you know how to position your protractor. Hope you know how to position your protractor. Just a moment. Let me get that to that question because I want to use a protractor online. Because I want to use my protractor online. Just a moment, I'm shifting. Thank you. We are there. I have my protractor here. Let me enlarge before that. I have to bring my protractor. Look at how I'm going to position. I've aligned my protractor. Let me maximize it by enlarging so that you can see what is there. Dear learners, look at it keenly. Look at it. When we are there, if you are very keen, if I have to take a reading, from here, like this, like that, look at what I'm going to get. Up to that point, I'm getting 85.1 degrees. I'm getting 85.1 degrees. This angle here, sorry, let me realign it. Just a moment. That is it. I'm having 85.1 degrees. So that if I look at my choices, the answer, the closest value to what I have, mine is 85. Remember, learners, I'm having 85. 0.1 degrees. And when I look at the choices, the most appropriate, because sometimes you might not be exact, but you pick the most appropriate. You pick the most appropriate or closest value. So if I had 85.1, the closest reading to 85.1 is 85. That is the closest reading to 85.1. So that is the size of angle ABC. I measured from, I read it from C, and I read in that direction. I read the outer scale, and this is what I got. That is what I got. Thank you on that. Let's embark to our other side. Just a moment. We are embarking. I'm embarking. Just a moment. Thank you for that. Question number, so with this one here, we've confirmed and noted the correct answer should be 85. Question 17. Rehema plotted a point R on a Cartesian plane. Rehema plotted a point R on a Cartesian plane. Then we are being asked, what are the coordinates of R? Learners, for you to state the coordinates of a point, we normally state the x value, comma, y value. That's how you state the coordinates of a point. If this, looking at your axis, this one here is your x-axis, and this one here is your y-axis. That one there is your y-axis. So when you look at, when they want the coordinates of a point R, I look at my point R. I will read its x value from where it is to the corresponding x value. I'm getting 3. Then I read the corresponding value on the y-axis. I go read the y-axis, I'm getting -2. Remember here I had 3, and here I'm getting -2. Those become the coordinates of the point R. 3, -2. I'll come look at my choices. The correct choice is choice C. Choice B. 3, -2. Remember, I've given you a secret here. When you're writing a coordinate, you start with the x value, comma, y value. X value, comma, y value. That's how you always write a coordinate. That's how you always write a coordinate. Question number 18. Question number 18. A surveyor wrote the length of a piece of land as 70 meters. She represented the length as 2.8 centimeters on a map. What scale was used? Now, learners, when you talk about this scale, the ratio scale, one thing you must know, it has always has same units. What do I mean about when I say same units? If it's centimeters, everything should be in centimeters. But now when you look at your question, you have this one in centimeters, you have this one in meters. So we have to convert it. You know that 1 meter is equivalent to 100 centimeters. What about the 70 meters? What about the 70 meters? Then you cross multiply. This is going to be 70 times 100. This gives you 7,000 centimeters. 7,000 centimeters. Then you know that she represented the length as 2 meters. So it means 2.8 centimeters on a map represented 7,000 centimeters on a piece of ground. What will 1 centimeter represent? What will 1 centimeter on a map represent? That's how you do it. Make sure you say I'm having similar units, learners. Then you cross multiply. When you cross multiply, you are going to have 1 times 7,000. 1 times 7,000. Divide this by 2.8, like that. With the help of our calculator, dear learners, we can see. Now I'm taking 7,000. I'm dividing it by 2.8, and I'm getting 2,500. I'm getting 2,500. So this means 1 centimeter on a map represents 2,500 centimeters on a piece of ground. As a ratio scale, I'm going to say this is like saying 1 ratio 2,500. Because it's a ratio, this one has no units. Remember, a ratio always has no units. Remember that, learners. A ratio always has no units. So because I've gotten it now like this, I'll now go look at my choices. The correct choice is choice D. The correct choice is choice D. Let's go to question 19. A painter placed 3.2 meters. A painter placed 3.2 meters at an angle of 30 degrees with a vertical wall. What was the distance from the wall? So what was the distance from the bottom of the ladder to the foot of the wall? Now, let's have a sketch. Assume this is my wall. Hii ni ukuta. That's my wall. Now, we have a ladder, ngazi, like that, at an angle of 30 degrees with a vertical wall. That ladder has been placed at an angle of 30 degrees with a vertical wall, remember. Not that with the ground, it has been said with a vertical wall. That's what you need to know. This is my wall standing vertically. This is a ladder, but it's making an angle here of 30 degrees. Remember, the wall is vertical, so it makes an angle of 90 with the ground. The ladder is 3.2 meters. So they want the distance from the bottom of the ladder here. They want the distance from here, from the bottom of the ladder to the foot of the wall, to here. They want this distance. They want this distance. They want that distance. Learners, I'm going to apply SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA. When I apply SOHCAHTOA, if I want this distance, if I want that distance, this side here, in relation to that angle, this side is the opposite. This one obviously is the hypotenuse. So if I have a hypotenuse and opposite, I'm talking about sine. So I'm going to say sine 30 degrees is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So this is sine 30 degrees. Sine 30 degrees is equals to opposite, which we are looking for, I call it D, over hypotenuse, which is 3.2. If I want to finish it up, I can say if I want to get B, I'm going to multiply both sides by 3.2. Also here by 3.2. So the 3.2 the 3.2 cancels. Now here I'm having 3.2 times sine 30 gives me the distance D. So with the help of my calculator, I can say 3.2, I multiply it by sine 30, I'm getting 1.6. So I'm getting 1.6 is equal to D. So the correct answer here should be 1.6 meters. 1.6 meters. Keep sharing the link to your friends so that they can subscribe to the channel and follow along with us. Let's go to question number 20. The number of fish sold by a fishmonger was represented in a bar graph as shown. We have the number of fish and the number of days. On which 2 consecutive days did the fishmonger sell the highest number? The question says consecutive. Learners, when you get something talk about consecutive, it means one following the other, like Leo and Kesho, Leo and Jana. That's what is meant by consecutive days. So let's look at Monday and Tuesday. When they talk, Tuesday and Wednesday. When they talk about Tuesday, what was the reading for Tuesday? Tuesday they had 20. Monday, let me see. What did they have on Monday? Monday they had 10. Wednesday they had what? Wednesday, you can see. So you need to know what does each scale represent. How do you know choice of a scale, learners? The choice of a scale is very simple. You can see how many divisions from 0 to 5? 5. So it means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one small square represents 1. So for Wednesday, after 10, you have 2 more squares, so that is 12. Like that. Then for Thursday, let's see the reading for Thursday. Thursday, we are having 5. Then Friday, if you look at it keenly, we are having 25. After you've done your analysis like that, now they are asking which 2 consecutive days did the fishmonger sell the highest? Which 2 consecutive days did he sell the highest? Let's look for Monday and Tuesday. When I talk about Tuesday and Wednesday, when I take Tuesday plus Wednesday, Tuesday I had 20 plus Wednesday I had 12. So this gives me a total of 32. Let's look at Monday and Tuesday. When I add what was the number of fish on Monday and the number of fish on Tuesday, Monday we had 10, Tuesday we had 20, so this gives you 30. When you take Wednesday and Thursday, let's see. Wednesday we've got 10, they had 20. Sorry, Wednesday they had 12. Thursday they had 5. When you add 12 plus 5, that is 17. Let's check on Thursday and Friday. Thursday they had 5. Friday they had 25. Is 30. We go now, they wanted the highest. You look at this, which 2 consecutive days did they sell the highest? They sold at Tuesday and Wednesday. So that is the correct answer, because on Tuesday and Wednesday they sold 32, which was the highest based on the choices we've been given, learners. Based on the choices we've been given. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that to keep getting updates on the group, on the channel. Let's go to section B very fast. Section B, learners, is 80 marks, so it's very important. And in section B, we don't have choices. Now we are going to do calculations and show our working. We are going to do calculations and show our working. Don't forget that. A cooperative society received 18,357,248 cartons of avocado from farmers in one season. How many times is the total value of digit 3 greater than the total value of digit 2? It's very simple. If I have the number as 18,357,248, I want to get the total value of digit 3. How do I get the total value of digit 3 without struggling? If I want to get the total value of digit 3, I'm going to start writing zeros from the right hand side up to where 3 is, then when I insert 3. So this one is now going to be, if I do it that way, this is 0, 0, 0, 0, this is 0. Now I want the total value of digit 3, yes. So that is, I'm going to put the 3 there. So the number formed you are going to get is 300,000. I want to get the total value of digit, I want to get the total value of digit 2 in the number 18,357,000. Sorry, 357,248. 248. If I want to get the total value of digit 2, I'm going to repeat the same. This will be 0. 0, where is my 2? My 2 is here, so I'm going to put it here. So I'm getting 200. Now, the question is, how many times, learners? How many times is the total value of digit 3 greater than the total value of digit 2? Because it's talking about how many times, I'm going to take the total value of digit 3 divided by the total value of digit 2. So this is going to be 300,000. I divide it now by 200. When I do with my calculator, I have 300,000. Divide by 200, you are going to get 1,500. So it's 1,500 times. 1,500 times. Just by doing it like that, learners, you have 4 marks. If you have a question, please don't hesitate to drop it in the comment section so that I answer you or give you more clarification. So that I answer you and give you more clarification. I'm seeing someone is asking me about what is the meaning of Sokatoa. Someone is asking me about the meaning of Sokatoa. Sokatoa, sorry for the late response, but hope you are still there. Millicent, Sokatoa basically means, it's an acronym we use when we are dealing with trigonometry. We have sine, cos, and tan. So for you to get sine, which is SO, which its abbreviation is SO, that is opposite of hypotenuse. For you to get cos, you are going to take adjacent over hypotenuse, which is k. And for you to get tan, you are going to take opposite over adjacent, that is TOA. I will organize a session where I'm going to consider that in detail. Thank you. Thank you, Millicent. Anyone else with another question, feel free to ask. I'm here to help you out. I'm here to help you out. Question number 22. Question number 22. A fisherman on a boat saw a fish at a depth of 5 meters. He noticed a bird vertically above the fish at a height of 12 meters from the water surface. Use a number line to show the distance between the fish and the bird. Use a number line to show the distance. Remember that a fisherman on a boat saw a fish. Assume this is the ground, and down here we have water, and this is the surface of the water. This is the surface, and here we are having our boat. This is maybe our boat. That is our boat. So this person saw a fish. We had a fish somewhere here deep. We had a fish 5 meters deep. But also you notice a bird vertically above the fish. From where the fish is here, vertically above, at a height of 12 meters from the water surface. 12. Use a number line to show the distance. Allow I use the distance from the water surface here. Allow I make it like this, such that the distance from the water surface going downwards here to be negative, and the distance from the water surface here going upwards be positive. So diagrammatically using a number line, this is what we'll have. At the surface, I can say let it be at 0. So downwards, I have back up to -5. So this is -1, -2, -3, -5. Then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then the question is, use the number line to determine the distance between the fish and the bird. To get the distance between the 2 points, you are simply going to do subtraction, or rather even not even subtraction, because they are talking about the number line. I'm going to count my steps. I'm going to count my steps from +12 to -5. So let me count my steps. I want to use a different ink. Let me count the steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So you see the range is 17. So when it means that when I have 12 minus -5, I'm having the distance as 17 meters. That is the distance between the fish and the bird, 17 meters. The distance between the fish and the bird is 17 meters. 17 meters. Question number 23. Question number 23. A school bought some rice to be used for 6 days. On the first day, the school used 1/6 of the rice. On the second day, 1/5 of the remaining rice was used. The rest of the rice was shared equally for 4 days, for the last 4 days. On the last day, the school used 37.5 kg. Determine the fraction of rice that was shared equally for the last 4 days. Determine the fraction of rice that was shared equally for the last day 1. As I fix the issue, hold on a bit as I fix the issue. Are you still able to hear me? Are you still able to hear me? Thank you. I thought I had a problem. So day 2, on day, a fifth of the remaining. What is the remaining? So it is a fifth of the remaining. To get the remaining, you know the total fraction adds up to 1, so it's 1 minus what was used on day 1, 1/6. So this is like saying 1/5 times 1 minus 1/6 is like saying 5/6. So that becomes, when I take 1/5 times 5 is the remainder. Remember 5/6 is the remainder. So 1/5 times 5/6, I'm getting a sixth. I'm getting a sixth. This is what was used on day 2. A sixth. A sixth. Then what remained was shared equally for the last 4 days. What remained? To get the remainder that was shared for the last 4 days, I'll take the total fraction 1. I'm going to subtract what was used on day 1, which is 1/6, plus what was used on day 2. In my calculator, I'm going to get 1/6 plus 1/6, 1/6 plus 1/6. I'm having a third when simplified. I subtracted from 1, I'm having 2/3. So the fraction that was shared equally was 2/3. That is the fraction that was shared equally. That's the fraction that was shared equally, learners. If you have a question you ask, don't fear. I'm here for your sake and I want you to excel in mathematics. So the fraction of rice that was shared equally is 2/3. Remember, day 1 was a sixth. Day 2 was a fifth of what was of the remaining rice. To get the remaining rice, I took the total fraction 1 minus the fraction which was used on day 1, which is 1/6. That gave me 5/6. So when I took a fifth times 5/6, I got a sixth. That was what was used in day 2. Then To get the remaining after the 2 days, I'm going to take the total fraction still, which is 1, minus the summation of what was used in day 1 and what was used in day 2. So that gave me, when you work it out in your calculator, over 3. Part B of the question. Part B of the question. Part B of the question. The mass of rice that the school had bought. The mass of rice that the school had bought. How do we answer this? Remember, on the last day the school used 37.5. This fraction that remained, remember, this fraction that remained, which is 2 over 3, was shared equally for the last 4 days. I want to get what did each of the last 4 days had. So when I take 2 over 3, which was shared equally, I divide it by 4 days. I want to get each of the last 4 days had equally. This will be, I'll keep this first fraction, 2 over 3. Then I will change the division to multiplication as I reciprocate the next one to 1 over 4. So now I'm having 2 over 3 times 1 over 4. I'm going to get again a sixth. I'm going to get a sixth. It means that each of the last 4 days had a sixth, each of the day. So this one a 6 is for each of the last 4 days. For each of the last 4 days, the fraction was a sixth. Now, because this is the fraction for each of the last 4 days, even this last day, which is 37.5, it's equivalent to its fraction is a sixth. So I can say, I go ahead and say that if 1 over 6 is equivalent to 37.5, because this 1 over 6 is also what was used on the last day, and that should be equivalent to the mass that was used, which is 37.5. Now, what about the mass the school bought, the mass of rice the school bought, which is 1? The total fraction is just 1. You cross multiply, this is now going to be 1 times 37.5 over 1 over 6. 1 times 37.5, that's just like saying 37.5. Instead of saying over 1 over 6 is just like saying divided by 1 over 6. So this is going to be 37.5. You now multiply that by 6 over 1. With the help of our calculator, 37.5 times 6, that is 225. 225 kgs. 225 kgs. That's what is there. That's what is there, dear learners. That's what is there. So make sure you keep subscribing, sharing the link to your friends, so that they can also benefit from this very, very important channel. They can also benefit from this very important channel. Very important channel. Let's look at question 24 of the same. Let's look at question 24. Let's look at question 24. A wall, question 24. With the question 24, it's not difficult. With question 24, it's not difficult. A wall is in shape of a square. A wall is in shape of a square. a wall is in shape of a square. Each side of the wall is 15 meters. The wall is covered with the tiles, with the square tiles, each 50 centimeters long. Determine the number of tiles. So we have a wall that is square in shape. Assume that is my wall, that is square in shape. Each side is 15 meters, so it's 15 by 15. The wall is covered by tiles, each 50 centimeter. Inside it hapa ndani kwa walls tuko na small tiles. We have tiles. We have tiles. These tiles cover the whole wall like that. Then the question is determine the number of tiles used. So remember, this is a question that is tested on area. And when you talk about area, this is the measure of the extent of the surface. Now, let's first get the area of the wall. Let's first get area of the wall. Because it's a square, it is side times side, learners. That is 15, you multiply that by 15, you are going to get 225 squared centimeter. That is the area of the wall. After we've obtained the area of the wall, let's also get the area of each side. Area of one tile. Area of one tile, because a tile is also square, it is side times side. I want uniformity in my units. So this was I have wrong units here. This was meters. So because this was meters, also this one should be square meters. So the tile is 50 centimeter by 50. I want to convert them to meters by dividing by 100. So 50 over 100 times 50 over 100. What do you get? 50 over 100 times 50 over 100. You are going to get 0.25. We are getting the area of each tile is 0.25 squared centimeters. Then they want the number of tiles. So I will say if one tile covers an area of 0.25 squared meters, how many tiles will be required to cover an area of 225 squared meters? How many tiles? You cross multiply. This is now going to be 1 times 225 divided by 0.25. When you do that division, that is 225 divided by 0.25, you are getting 900 tiles. So the number of tiles required are 900 tiles. That's the number of tiles required. Question number 25. Katana employed 4 men to weed his farm in 18 days. Determine the number of men Katana would need to weed the farm in 8 days. So here we have men and days. We have the number for men and days. 4 men weed it in 18 days. What about the number of men required to weed it in? The number of men required to weed it in 8 days. Now, here there are two methods we can use. So if 4 men weed it in 8 days, 1 man weeds in, I want to get how many days. One man can weed this piece of land in 4 times 18 days. So that means I want to get what one man can, how long can it take? When I take 4 times 18, that one man will take 72 days. One man working alone takes 72 days. Now, if one man takes 72 days to weed this piece of land, how many men will take 8 days? So to get the number of men that will take 8 days, I'm going to take men who take 8 days is being calculated by taking 72, the work that can be done by one man, divided the number of days taken by one man divided by 8. So we have 9 men as the answer. 9 men will do the work in 8 days. Method 2. Let me show you method 2. What am I writing? Alternatively, the number of days have reduced in the ratio. The number of days have reduced in the ratio. The number of men, sorry, the number of days has reduced. Days have reduced in 8 is to 18. Therefore, because the number of days has reduced in the ratio 8 is to 18, then the number of men increases in the ratio 18 is to 8, because this is inverse proportionality. So if it increases in this manner, to get the number of men, I'm going now to take 18 ratio 8 is like saying 18 over 8 times 4. 18 over 8 times 4. 18 over 8 times 4 in your calculator, you are going to get 9 men. So those are the two methods which you can use to solve that question. Whichever you find yourself much more conversant with, it's okay. Whichever you find yourself much more conversant with is okay. I've given out the two methods because some learners find it different. You find different methods of using it. So the one you find it's easy, you can proceed with it. Question number 26. Amina shared some money among her 3 children, Mohammed, Fatuma, and Hussein. Mohammed received 3 times the amount of money that Fatuma received. Hussein received 7,000 shillings more than Fatuma. If Fatuma received X, write a simplified expression for the total amount of money that Amina shared. So we have some distribution here. Fatuma received X. I have Fatuma here. Fatuma here, we are being told she received X. Then we start from the top. Amina shared some money among her children, Mohammed, Fatuma, and Hussein. Mohammed received 3 times. The term is 3 times, learners. 3 times the amount Fatuma received. So to get what Mohammed received, it is 3 times, that means 3 times what Fatuma received times X. So this is like saying 3x. So Mohammed received 3x. Hussein received 7,000 more than. Learners, these are the key things you need to consider. Hussein received 7,000 more than Fatuma. If Fatuma received X, then Hussein received 7,000 more. Then it means the expression for Hussein, the expression for Hussein is X plus the 7,000 that is exceeding with, like that. So those are the expressions for the three children. But now the question says, write a simplified expression for the total amount. So to get the total, I'm going to take what Fatuma received. Fatuma received X. I add it with what Mohammed received, which is 3X. I add it to what Hussein received, which is X plus 7,000. Learners, in algebra, like terms are combined into a single term. Those with X are like terms. We can combine them into a single term because X plus 3X is 4X plus this X that will make it be 5X now plus 7,000. That is the expression, right? A simplified expression. Yes, that one is much more simplified. We cannot work it out further. 5x plus 7,000. 5x plus 7,000. Thank you on that. Question number 27. If you have any inquiry, learners, you just post on the comment section and I will be there to chip in. Mary bought 3 packets of milk and 4 loaves of bread for 570 shillings from a shop. Jane bought 5 packets of milk and a loaf of bread for 440 shillings from the same shop. Determine the cost of a loaf of bread and the cost of a packet of milk. Learners, these are questions on linear equations, forming and solving simultaneous equations. So learners, I want to do it like this. Let the cost for a packet of milk be M, and also let the cost for a loaf of bread be equals to B. Now we can form our simultaneous equations. Mary bought 3 packets of milk, that is 3M, and 4 loaves of bread, that is 4B, at a cost of 570. So that one should be equal to 570. That gives you equation 1. Equation 2, Jane bought 5 packets of milk, 5M, and a loaf of bread, a loaf, learners, meaning only one loaf, that is B, is equals to 440. I can solve these 2 equations simultaneously by multiplying. Maybe I want to eliminate M. If I want to eliminate M, I'm going to multiply by the lower equation. I'm going to multiply by the coefficient of M from the upper equation, that is 3. And the upper equation, I'm going to multiply by the coefficient of M from the lower equation, that is 5. Working it out, you are going to get, this is 5M, not 5, but 5 times 3, that's 15M, plus 20B should be equal to 5 times 570. 5 times 570, let's see. 5 times 570, you are going to get 2850. 50. Then for the lower equation, this is 15m plus 3b is equals to 3 times 440 in your calculator, 1320. 1320. Then you do subtraction. 15m minus 15m, that will be 0. That will be 0. Then 20b minus 3b, that is 17b, is equals to 2850. You less 1320. You're going to get 1530. You have 1530. So that means, that basically means that 17b is equals to 1530. You divide here by 17, here by 17. When you do that division, the 17 and the 17 cancels. You are going to have b is equal to 1530 divided by 17. You are going to have b is equals to 90 shillings. B is equals to 90 shillings. B is equals to 90 shillings. Once you get the value of b, you substitute to your original equation. I can substitute equation 2. Remember my equation 2. Remember that my equation 2, I had 5m plus b is equals to 440. So this is like saying 5m plus b, which is 90, is equals to 440. Once you have it like that, this one will come and move to this other side and become minus. So I'll have 5m is equals to 440 minus 90. 5m is equals to what? When I have 440 minus 90, I get 350. I get this as 350. Then upon dividing both sides by 5, where the 5 and the 5 cancels, I'm going to get my m as 70. But what was our m and b? Our m and b were the cost. So they want to determine the cost of a loaf of bread. So you can say here, loaf of bread is equals to how much? Bread was b is equals to 90. The loaf of bread is costing 90. Then packet of milk is given by m, which is 7. Just doing it like that, you would have gotten your 5 marks. You would have gotten your 5 marks. Let's look at the next one. A trader sells G goats every week. The number of goats he sells each week is more than 8, but less than or equal to 15. Write a compound inequality. So this person sells G goats every week. It's G, it's unknown. So because it's unknown, we've represented it with what? With a letter. We've represented it with a letter. Now, because the number of goats he sells each week is more than 8, then if this person is selling G goats, then this number of goats he sells should be more than 8, meaning should be greater than 8 from that statement. More than 8, so meaning G should be greater than 8 because G represents the number of goats sold. But less than or equal to 15. Then it means this G is less than or equal to 15. Write a compound inequality. A compound inequality is just one inequality to represent that. One inequality to represent that, and it's very simple. So I'll say I'll say 8 is less than G, which is less than or equal to 15. That is the compound inequality. 8 is less than G, which is less than or equal to 18, which is less than or equal to 18. That's what you need to know, learners. That's what you need to know. Let's look at question 29. Let's look at question 29. Kamau took part in a 10,000 meter. He covered before he fell. The distance he had covered before he fell. It's simple. First, it's good to know the relationships, and it's simple. We have this that we normally have this acronym. Kenya has dug many dams containing magic. So they want the answer in meters. I'm going to convert also this one in meters. So we hectometer, decameter, then meter. If you have it like that, you know that this is one hectometer. On the decameter it will be 10. On the hectometer, on the meter it will be 100. On the meter it will be 100. If you know that, if you now know that, it becomes quite easier on your side. It becomes quite easier on your side because you know that one hectometer should be in caps. 1 HM, which is hectometer, is equal to 100 meters. What about 72.8? This is 72.8. Multiply this by 100. Multiply that by 100. This is going to give you 72.8 meters. After that conversion, now you come and say, Kamau took part in 10,000 meter race. After running this distance, which is like 7,480 meters, he fell and could not complete the race. What distance had he covered before he fell in meters? So this is the distance he had covered, 7,280 meters. As simple as that. Then, what distance in meters was remaining for Kamau to complete? Let's get the remaining distance. Remaining distance. For the remaining distance, the distance we covered was 10,000 meters, and he covered only 7,280 meters. So the remaining distance in terms of meters, I subtract 10,000 minus 7280. That is 2740. Sorry, 10,000 minus 7280. 2720. That is 2720 meters. But now they want that in decameters. So that was, let's see the relationship between the two. Let me use a pen of different ink, maybe that one. So they want decameters and meters, so that is 1. This will be 10 meters. So you know that 1 decameter is equal to 10 meters. What about 2720? What about 20 meters? So this is like 1 times 27 divided by 10. This is going to give decameters. That was the remaining distance to complete the rest in decameters. Complete the rest in decameters. To complete the rest in decameters. To complete the rest in decameters. Let's look at question number 30. 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 The floor of a swimming pool in a hotel was made up of a rectangular patch and semicircular patch. The figure below represents the floor of the swimming pool. Determine the area covered by the swimming pool. To determine the area covered by the swimming pool, dear learners, here we can see two features. I can see area A, which is a rectangle. I can see area B, which is a semicircle. I can see area B, which is a semicircle. So to get the area, I'm going to take area A plus area B. So let me get area A. That is a area of the rectangle. Area of the rectangle is given by length times width. The length in this case is 12 times the width, which is 7. This gives you 84 square meters. 84 square meters. 84 square meters. Then also let's get the area B, area of a semicircle. Area of semicircle is given by a half pi r squared. So this is given as a half. Because they didn't limit us on the pi, we can use 24/7 times. Now, if this distance here is 7, also this distance here is 7, and this 7 is now the diameter of the semicircle. And if the diameter is 7, then the radius is 7 divided by 2, which is 3.5 meters. So the radius in this case is going to be 3.5 squared. Now with our calculator, that is a half times 22/7 times 3.5 squared times 3.5 squared. That is 19.25. I'm going to have 19.25 squared meter. Now the question says determine the area covered by the floor, meaning now the total area. To get the total area, I'm going to take the area of the rectangle, which is 84 plus 19.25. 84 plus 19.25. 84 plus 19.25. I'm having 103.25. 103.25 square meter. 103.25 square meter as the area of that swimming pool. Make sure you all subscribe to the channel so that you keep getting updates on this paper, or sorry, on this channel, on various mathematical problems and how to simplify them in terms of solving. Question number 31. A cylindrical tank of diameter 5.6 meter contains water to a height of 2.5. The water was transferred to a rectangular tank of length 5.5 meters and width 4 meters. What is the height of the water in the rectangular tank? So first of all, let's compute. First of all, First of all, for us to be able to do that question, for us to be able to do the question, for us to be able to do that question is what we need. Let's first get the volume of the cylinder. Volume of cylindrical tank. Or rather, the volume of that cylindrical tank is given by pi r squared h. Pi r squared h. This is 22 over 7 times the radius. The diameter is 5.6. Then the radius is half of it, which is 2.8 squared times the height is 2.5. This one is going to give you in your calculator 22 over 7 times 2.8 squared times 2.5. 61.6. This is going to be 1.6 squared meter. That is a volume of that cylindrical tank. Because the water is now being transferred to the rectangular tank, then it simply means that the volume of water in the cylindrical tank should be equal to the volume of water in the rectangular tank. So that's what we need to know. That is what we need to know, dear learners. Because they say that a cylindrical tank of diameter 5.6 meters contains water to a height of 2.5 meters. The water was transferred to a rectangular tank of length 5.5 meters and width 4 meters. What was the height of the water in the rectangular tank? What was the height of the water in the rectangular tank? Remember that that's question that the questions go up to question. Let's just 40. So we have 9 more. We are almost there. Keep inviting your friends by sharing to them the link. Even you mention even where you are watching us from. It's also very important and it encourages others. You comment there in the comment section where in which side of Kenya or in which side of this world are you watching the session from? Are you watching the session from? We proceed. So because we are transferring the volume of that cylindrical tank, the volume of this water in the cylindrical tank into the rectangular tank, so the volume should be the same. The volume should be the same. The volume should be the same. So we note that point by saying that volume, say volume of the cylinder should be equal to the volume of the rectangular tank. Now, but now how do you get volume of rectangular tank? The volume of the rectangular tank is given by length, by width, by height. So because this volume and the other one is equal, so 61.6 should be equal to the length, which is 5.5 times the width, which is 4 times the height, which is unknown. So 61.6 is equal to 5.5 times 4, that is 22h. 22h. I want to get h. So I'm going to, if you divide both sides by 22, you are going to have h as 2.8. My h is 2.8 meters. That is the height. That is the height. Let's look at question number 32. That a half marathon race is 21. Half marathon race is 21 kilometers long. Peter ran the race in 1 hour 40 minutes. Determine the speed in meters per second. First of all, how do you calculate speed, learners? Speed is being given by distance over time. That's the starting point. You know that speed is equal to distance over time. So the speed is distance is 21 kilometers over time 1 hour 40 minutes. That's like saying 1 plus 40 over 60. You are going to get 5 over 3 over 5 over 3 hours. When you divide 21 divided by 5 over 3, you are going to get 12.6. 12.6 kilometers per hour. Now, this is speed, yes, but have we answered the question? No. They want the speed in meters per second. Now, to get the speed in meters per second, simply take the speed in kilometers per hour. That is 12.6. Then multiply it by 5 over 18. As simple as that. Take your speed in kilometers per hour, multiply by 5 over 18. You get 3.5. This is like saying 3.5 meters per second. 3.5 meters per second. That's how you answer that part. That's how you answer that part. Question 23. In that one we are done. Sam gets a commission of 2% for every car sold. In 1 month, in a certain month, sorry, he sold 6 cars. The selling price of each car was 890. Calculate the commission Sam earned. So he gets a commission of 2% for every car sold. Commission is equal to 2%. So let's get commission per car. Commission per car. Commission per car is obtained by 70%. That is 2 over 100 times the selling price, which is 890,000. So this is equivalent to shillings in your calculator. 2 over 100 times 890,000, you get 17,800. 17,800. This is the commission that Sam is getting just by selling 1 car. But in a certain month, he sold how many cars? 6 cars. So to get total commission, you take 6 times 17,800. This becomes is equals to times 6. That is 106,800. 106,800 commission. So the easiest way learners would first get the commission per car. After getting the commission per car, because now they said the selling price of each car was 890,000, you can now multiply that by 6 cars, which is the number of cars sold in that month, to get some total commission in that month. Question number 34. A welder designed a window frame in the shape of a parallelogram as shown. Giving reasons, determine the values of angle A and B. Giving reasons, determine the size of angle A determine the size of angle A and B. There are several ways in which you can work out this. Let me show you. These are parallelograms. For you to get these angles, let's try and extend these angles here. We see. Assume this line was continuing. This angle here alternates this angle. So this is 70. This will be 70. These angles are in a straight line. If this one is 70, then this angle here should be 110, because angles in a straight line add up to 180. Angles in a straight line add up to 180. Let's also look at this other side. If this angle here is 70, this angle here should also be 70, corresponding angles. And if this angle is 70, this one here will be 110. And because these sides are parallel, if I extend this angle B will be corresponding to this. So this angle B should be 70 degrees, because this one here will be 110. So the one giving results determines the size of angle A. Angle A is simply obtained by saying 180 minus 70, giving me 110 degrees. And the reason is corresponding angles, co-interior angles, add up to 180 degrees. Giving reasons, you can say here any reason. You can talk about angles add up to 180 degrees. I want to get angle B. Angle B. Angle B is simply 70 degrees. Angle B is 70 degrees. And you can talk about opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral are equal. Or if not like that, you can still talk about co-interior angles. Co-interior angles add up to 180 degrees. So this is 110 minus, sorry, 180 minus 1 minus 180 minus 110. 180 minus 110, giving you 70 degrees. We are done with that. Let's look at question 5. Question 5 is a question on geometry. Question 5 is a question on geometry, and I don't want to skip anything in this paper because it's a good paper. Let's go and shift into geometry and have a look at that question 1. So that question 35, you'll just allow I do the shifting. You'll just allow I do the shifting. Just allow I do the shifting. Let me look for that question so that we can construct it. We have the question with us. Just a moment. Let me avail my construction materials. Let me avail my construction materials. I'm availing my construction materials, dear learners. I'm availing my construction materials. Like that. I've availed my construction materials. Now it's up to me now just to do the construction. I'm only now supposed to do the construction. They say that a carpenter designed a coffee table with a triangular tabletop. A model of the tabletop was triangle NPQ, such that PQ is equal to 7 centimeters, PQ is equal to 7 centimeters, NQ, PQ is equal to 7, NQ is equal to 9, and angle NPQ is 60 degrees. Then you need to construct that. Then after that, let's see the next part. Okay, I've seen the next part. So we can do the construction now. We can do the construction. It's very simple, learners. Doing that construction. I'll take a ruler. I'll take my ruler and draw a line somewhere here. I will draw a line. I'll draw a line. Not even that one. I'll draw a line. Sorry, Control Z. Let me reduce the thickness of my pencil. I'll draw a line like that. I've drawn my line. After I've drawn my line, the length PQ should be 7 centimeters. I'm going to use my pair of compass and measure the length 7 and measure the length. Just a moment. And measure the length 7. Centimeters. So that is the length 7 centimeters. I have my length 7 centimeters. If that is my length 7 centimeters, I now take my compass and stand at any of these points. Stand at any of these points. No, let me. Just a moment. Like that. I'll make an arc. And I'll bring it here to where I've made my arc. Give it a rotation. And make an arc. So once I've made the arcs, I now know that that distance, that is the distance PQ. Sorry, that's the distance PQ, and that distance PQ is 7 centimeters. And that distance is 7 centimeters. 7 centimeters. 7 centimeters. Then after I have the distance 7 centimeters, I also know, let's construct angle NPQ. NPQ is the angle at P being 60. Let's construct an angle of 60 at P. I'll put my sharp point at P, like that. Then let me do this rotation. Let me reduce the size of my compass. Let me reduce the size of my compass. For a moment, let me reduce the thickness again. Do I tend to forget, but it's not something bad, like that. And now transfer the same to this point that I've cut here without adjusting the same, reading, without adjusting the same. Make it cut like that. Like that. Then now join using a ruler from this point here. I want to use green pen. Let me become quite accurate. That is it. Then after that, I've drawn that. You see that I've constructed an angle of 60, even if you tend to measure. Sorry. Even if you tend to measure using a protractor, you can see it's giving you an angle of 60. If you move this like this, it's giving an angle of 60 like that. So that's super drawing. Then PQ, sorry, NQ is 9. So 9 I have to measure from my ruler, 9, using my pair of compass. And 9, I need to measure 9, 9 like that, 9 like that. Then after I've done the measuring, because I now know it's 9, I'll bring it here to this sharp point, then rotate it like that. I want to point it and which it is going to cut it like that. Then once it has cut, we now join these 2 points. like that, and the point we've joined, that point we've joined down is the point we call C. Is a point that we call C. This point here, P is not C but N. That's a point we call N. Let me use a red ink. We call that point N. We call that point N. So by doing it like that, you have constructed and you have your math. You have your math. The next one is say measure the size of angle PQN. Measure the size of angle PQN. PQN using a protractor. I'll move my protractor. I'll move my protractor. I want the size of this angle. So the size of this angle, I want the size of that angle. Let me magnify it. Now the size of my angle is at 77. Roughly it seems to be at 77. Seems to be at 77. Yes, that's at 77 degrees. So the size of that angle is 77. The size of the angle is 77 degrees. So that one is 77. Sorry. This one should be 77 degrees. Then measure the length Pn. I need to measure the length Pn. I go back. If I want to measure the length Pn, I can even use my ruler directly. Let me see if that will work or it will fail. Or let me use just my pair of compass for higher levels of accuracy. For higher levels of accuracy. That is 10.4 centimeters. I'm sure. Let me just confirm. But mine has already told me 10.4. 10. Yes, I can confirm. That is 10.4 centimeters. 10.4 centimeters. So this distance here is 10.4. Just a moment. Yes, 10.4 centimeters. 10.4. 10.4 centimeters. We are done with that. Let's look at question number 36 or so. That is our own survey. Question 36 came on survey. Question 36 came on survey. That the measurements were given. The measurements were given as that those ones there. The measurements were given in meters using a scale of 1 centimeter to represent 2 meters. Draw the map of the garden. you are supposed to draw the map of the garden. How do you draw the map of the garden, learners? It's very simple. Draw the map of the garden. That line is so thick. Can have this as a horizontal line, like that. Then, at the beginning here, this will be my point X here. This will be my point X. My point X. Then from my point X, from my point X, I have to move 10 centimeters, 10 meters. 10 meters, that's like into 5 centimeters. Let me measure 5 centimeters from my ruler. Let me measure 5 centimeters from my ruler. Is this my ruler? I need to get 5 centimeters like that. Like that. Then I'll bring it here. Let me see. Like that. So see, that's the point, and from there someone can move 12 up or down. So let me measure again 6 centimeters. 6 1 because 12 meters 12 meters can be represented 6 centimeters like that. Transfer, come over here like that. Then you need to do that rotation. Like that. Like that. Let's see. Just a moment. Like that. We remove this. Then we need to draw a line. I'm drawing a line. Like that. And that point, the point I'm going to call, that's a point I'm going to call point A. Sorry. Control Z. I'm going to call that point A. That's my point A. And this is 10. This one is from here to there again another 15. 15 is like measuring 7.5. Let me measure 7.5. 7.5 learners. This is how you measure 7.5. Like that. Then you reduce your ink pen. 7.5. You transfer. Come here. You start thinking about the 7.5. Extend a bit. Then drop it. Then it means I have to elongate this line. Let me elongate the line. Don't remember what did I use to draw. I think I used this one here. Let me elongate the line. Remember, it's not something difficult. It's not something difficult. Let me just elongate this line from here like this. I've elongated the line. After elongating the line now, that point is B7, 7 centimeters. That's like measuring 3.5. Control Z, sorry. Just a moment, doing this construction and I'm willing. 7 is 3 point, sorry. Look at how I'm positioning my protractor and adjusting where needed. Exactly like that. So do that. Then at the top here, you will have something. Just a bit. Then make your arc. After making your arc like that, just a moment, I'm looking on how I can move this. It's disturbing, let me just remove and get it later. Then now join a line. This is learners how we do. This is how we do it. Then that point we call it B. That point, this point here we call it B. This one here, call it B. Then finally, you need to measure. I need to measure 30 meters. 30 meters. That's like saying when I have 30 meters, it's just like saying 30 meters, just like saying 15 centimeters. So let's see what we can do there. Let's see what we can do there, learners. I'm taking it slow in this construction because I want to understand each and every step I'm making. I want you to understand each and every step I'm making. So let me measure 15 centimeters. Let me get my compass. 15, just like saying 7.5 is the last bit, so we can do 7.5. That's 7.5. Oh, this bit again longer. We'll extend, never mind. Let's see. That will cover that point. Now you remove this and you need to extend this line once more. We have it like that. So once we have it like that, this point learners let's see the point. This is the point now we call y. This is the point we call y. Let me do so very fast because we've stayed here for long. Sorry. Let me use older ink. That's the point we call y. Now we have now to join A to B. This is how we do the joining. Let me join using a green pen. Okay, sorry. You join using straight lines, remember? Join using straight lines. You join using straight lines like that. And again from here, it should be completely straight lines. Should be completely straight lines. Like that. So this is how it should look like. That's how it should look like. We are done with that. We are done with that. We are done with that. That one is over. That one is over. If we are done with that, let's use this now. Let's use this. That because we are done with that. Because we are done with that, let's look at the next part. That is you need also to draw the net for this. For question 37. Let's draw the net. Grade 8 learners were learning about the net rates. The teacher gave the learners a model of a cube of size 3 centimeters. Draw the net of the cube. Use the net to work out the surface area. How do you draw the net? So this one is very simple. We are going now. Let me measure. It's 3 centimeters. There. 3 centimeters. Let me use this and draw. I want to draw 3 centimeters. I'm drawing 3 centimeters. That is it. No. I want it Just a moment, I had forgotten something. This is how we should now do the drawing. This is how we do the drawing. 3 centimeters, like that. We are done with that side. When you're there, let me try and measure your 3 centimeters and see. Oh, I have 3 centimeters with me there. So let me do the drawing. 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 Before. I also come here. Do it like that. Doing it like that. And now join from that point to here. From this point I now join to there. Then obviously allow now to join like that. We join those points. Let me now draw the triangles, not even the triangles. This will result into this drawing again. So here you need to be so keen. See how I'm doing my drawing, learners. So enjoyable. Let me use some different ink to distinguish. Look at how I'm doing my drawing. I make an arc. I transfer my compass to this other side without adjusting the just a moment. Like that. I'm doing it without adjusting the measurements. Just a moment, let me have it. Like that. Like that. Let me okay. Learners, you can make sure you're following. I know this might be tedious, but it's also just important that you know how we do the drawing. You'll finally see how smart it will appear. You will finally see how smart it will appear. You'll finally see how smart it will appear. Now I'm done with that. I'm now just left with joining We are now joining. I'm just now joining. This is how it should look like. 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 Just a moment. I'm almost finalizing. Remember, the drawings always take the most time. So that's why when if a learner is doing it, we do encourage you do the construction one, the last one, because it might consume lots of your time. Might consume lots of your time. But nonetheless, at the end we have to win it. At the end we must win it. At the end we have to win it. We must win it. Now I'm left with 1. I'm thinking of where to place it. I'm left with 1 and I can put it here. Let me take this. Okay. That. Let me see. Like that. I think I'm done now. This one now is enough. Let me use a different ink to get for it. So you have it. And no. That's so bad. Remember, math, we need accuracy, learners. The higher the accuracy, the better for you. Like that. We are now done. We are now done. So basically that is how it should look like. That's how the net should look like. If you fall, you'll find that it's becoming a solid. We are done with that. Thank you for being part of that squad. I know it might not have been that easy, but at the end, you must have seen. So let me maybe just give this is 3 centimeters. 3 centimeters. Like that. Let's look at this one. Also, that 2 triangles A and B are drawn in a grid as shown. Triangle B is an enlargement of triangle A. Determine the scale factor. How to determine the scale factor of enlargement? Join corresponding points and extend them. For example, I join this point. Sorry, Control Z. I want to join this point here. I want to join the point and its corresponding point, and I'll extend like that. I'll also have to join this other point to its corresponding point and extend, even if I decide to join this one. Where the 2 points have intersected is what is called the center of enlargement. So determine the scale factor, because now we've seen that the point where it has met is what's the center of enlargement. That point is the center of enlargement. What happens here, learners, is that let me remove this ruler. Let me move it quite far. Yes, so this point that the 2 lines have intersected is the scale factor. Sorry, is the center of enlargement. To get now the scale factor, I'll count from, remember that they say B is an enlargement of triangle A. So A is the object. If I look at the distance from here to here, let me talk of it, from here to here, those how many squares? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the object is 4 squares. The image ilikuwa ni, so ni 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The image is 8. Remember, how do you get scale factor? Scale factor is the image distance from the center of enlargement of the distance. So the scale factor there is 2. And because the scale factor is 2, and because that the object and the image lie on the same side of the scale factor, then that is a positive scale factor. So determining the scale factor, you can say, under determining the scale factor, this is 8 over 4, which is equal to 2. That is the scale factor. The scale factor in that case is 2. The scale factor in that case is 2. Then on the grid, mark the point where for the center of enlargement, this point where the 2 rays have intersected, not join the 2. Even if I join, as long as you're joining the corresponding points, they should intersect at the center of enlargement. Sorry. Even if you join the corresponding points, learners, they'll all intersect at that point, center of enlargement. So mark the point X. So where they intersect, this point is called X. Sorry. And this point is called X. That point is called X. We are done with that. We are done with that. We are done with that. Question 39. The second last question. The second last question. The number of learners selected to represent their school in various ball games are recorded as shown. Represent the number of learners selected for each game on a pie chart. First of all, let's draw a pie chart. Control Z. Let's have a pie chart drawn. Let's have a pie chart. Just a small circle, not necessarily a bigger one. Let's have a pie chart drawn. No, that's too big. Let me reduce once more. Now, That is my circle. I'll draw my circle. Then represent the number of kernels. For you to have this question, first you need to know the total number, and for you to get the number, for you to get that you simply you add it, you add it to 10, you add it to 9, you add it to 11. In my calculator, when I take 18 plus 12 plus 10 plus 9 plus 11, I'm getting the total 60. The total number. So at 8 the for football I have 6, sorry, not 60. For football I have 8 over 60 times 360 because I want to get its degree. So 18 over 60 times 360, that is 108. This gives me 108 degrees. Then that's for football. I'll have 12 out of 60 times 360. 8 out of 60 times 12 out of 60 times 360, that is 72 degrees. After the netball, volleyball is 10 out of 60 times 360 degrees. That is how you locate the angle. So 10 out of 60 times 360, I'm getting 60. I'm done with 60 degrees. I'm done with the volleyball. I can get expression for handball. Handball is 9 out of 60 times 360. 9 out of 60 times 360. 9 out of 60 times 360, that is 54. 54 degrees. And finally, I have 11 out of 60 times 360. Let's see. 11. 11 out of 60 times 360. That is 66. Once I'm done out that, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, represent the number of learners selected for game na pie chart. I'll have this division like this. Now you can see, can maybe get from here. Control Z in my pie chart. And yes, apologies for that. Like that. Can have it like that. 108. 108 is the biggest, so that one can occupy such a space. That's 150, 30, maybe such a size. No, this can be written maybe like this. Then I have 72. I have 60. I have 54. Then I have 66. So this one here is 108, and this one is football. This one here is netball, and it is 72 degrees. Then this one here is 66, and it is basketball. Then this one is 54, and it is a handball. Then obviously this one here is 60 degrees, and that is a netball. Netball. So that's what you have to answer. That's how you represent Pythagoras. That's how you represent Pythagoras. That's how you represent Pythagoras. Let's get to our question from where we left, and we proceed. Let's proceed to the final part. A teacher wrote the numbers 10 to 20 on number card and asked grade 9 learners to select a card at random. Determine the probability that the number of the card picked is a prime number. So numbers from 10 to 20. Let's first list the numbers. I have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. In total, how many numbers do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So a prime number. Let's see the prime numbers between the prime numbers we have 11, 13, and 7. Sorry, 11, 13, 17, and 19. So the prime numbers here for 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is 4 over 11. That is the probability of picking a prime number. 4 over 11. 2, the probability of picking an even number. How many even numbers are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this will be 6 over 11. That's the probability of picking an even number. That marks the end of the paper. It is well revised, everything catered and considered. Thank you for being part of this session. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so that you keep receiving updates on what happens. Our hotline number still remains 07 41 30 4311. In case of any consultation or clarification you want, I will be there for you. Make sure you are in the channel and updated, because I'll be posting a lot of math revision sessions also for the JSS. Also the grade 8 papers are underway. I'm working on them, and very soon the site will be very, very busy. So make sure you subscribe, share to your colleagues, share to your friends, tell them this is the best channel where even complex math questions are being broken down to simpler ones. Thank you. See you in the next